The next few slides put in practice what you have learned so far in the course. We will use these web ranking systems that have been developed by the scientific community to actually weigh experts. To make things as quick as simple as possible, we will propose to you two papers that contradict each other, one that links vaccines with autism and the other who doesn't find such a link. We will use three approaches: assessing the scientific journal in which each article is published, assessing the institution of the lead author, and assessing the lead author directly. And for each assessment, we will use two ranking systems freely available on the web. The first article we assess is "Vaccines are not associated with autism." So what you have to do is to enter the name of the publication where the article was published. It's the journal called Vaccine. So you enter vaccine in Google Citation Matrix, and their index, which is an H5 index, give you 78. Scopus Journal Matrix give a site score of 3.33. While when you enter the name of the institution of the lead author, which is the University of Sydney, in SIMAGO institution rankings, you get an overall rank of 65. And with Cybermetrics Lab, the University of Sydney does a bit less well and is ranked 76. And this is compared to academic institutions in the world. The lead author of the paper does very well in Scopus, where he deserves an H-index of 32, but he cannot be found in Google Scholar. Article B has a title which is a bit more complicated. It was published in a journal called Metabolic Brain Disease. When you enter the name of that publication in Google Citation Matrix and in Scopus Journal Matrix, you get scores of 31 and 2.13. When you enter the name of the institution of the lead author in SIMAGO Institutions Rankings and in Cybermetrics Lab, you don't find anything. The Council for Nutritional and Environmental Medicine is not ranked by these systems. But the lead author is ranked by Scopus, where he deserves an H-index of 8, and in Google Scholar, where he scores 12. Now, it is when you compare both articles that this whole exercise begins to make some sense. As you can see, Article A scores much better regarding the publication and extremely much better regarding the institution. The lead author is also deserving a much higher H-index than the lead author of Article B. But the lead author of Article A is not listed in Google Scholar. What sense can we make of that? Well, the goal here is not to give the definitive assessment of the two articles, but using these ranking systems, we find out that, in fact, the journal Vaccine, who hosted Article A, has a greater reach and reputation than the Metabolic Brain Disease Journal, which is a recognized journal, but seems to have a much smaller resonance among researchers. Regarding the host institution of the lead author, for Article A, the University of Sydney is one of the top world universities, so the score for Article A is very high there, while the Council for Nutritional and Environmental Medicine is a very small institution, which seems to have only one researcher, and he's called Geir Borklund. In fact, you will find out that the lead author of Article A is bona fide scientist. He has published a lot. He's been cited by many other researchers. He's not in Google Scholar because for him it's not worth it because Scopus is much more credible. And Borklund looks very good on Google Scholar because Google Scholar includes articles published in magazines to calculate its H-index. In fact, he is more a science writer than a scientist, and this is why he looks good in Google Scholar but fares very badly where it really matters, in Scopus. So I'll let you decide who is the most credible scientist here. In the next step, you will put what you've learned in practice yourself, and you will try to assess 2 different articles and their authors.